Welcome to CharacterSelect. My name is Dave, and this, well, you probably already know it from the title down below, but I'm going to leave it a little bit. But this is one of those adventure games from back in the day that I am a big fan of. This is the life and times of a great American hero, Gerard Wilson. A young, ambitious city slicker born and raised in urban America. Quite frankly, he's perfectly prim and proper. Caught in the trap of 9 to 5. Is this all life has to offer? There has to be more. This man is ready for action. As of this moment, no longer will he accept only dreaming of adventure. Oh no, the wagons are on fire! I'm just gonna walk away. Oh, what's that? Oh, wee. Oh. This game is a Sierra game called Gold Rush. They actually released this on Steam, but basically this is a game that's more historical than it is, more about history than it is about, you know, the adventure, but there is adventure elements to it. So this one has a special place in your heart. Look House. When you were a young boy, just after moving to Brooklyn, your father built this house with his own two hands. It is one of the few things he left to remind you of him. So this is a game that's set in 1848, which, if you don't know American history or you haven't studied American history, 1848 is when the gold rush happened. Gold was discovered in California, and people went freaking crazy. Like, you talk about manifest destiny and people, you know, expanding the country as far west as they could. The gold rush is what got people over to the West Coast. The manifest destiny was just a reason to explore it. But it may not be the nicest or best kept house in the neighborhood, but you value it more than the mansion. Also, this game doesn't really have that much music, so I apologize for that in advance. Unlock gate. Cool. Unlock door. So, look. In the living room, there's a desk in the corner and a table in the center of the room. So I'm going to do my best to get as many points as possible, but there's a couple of bullshit points in this game, and by couple I mean 100. So look book. Ooh, it's a photo album. Memories, memories, memories. Every time you look at this album, it brings back memories. The album begins with a painting of your father and his best man, Mr. Quayle, the bank president, shaking hands after the wedding. You can't help but remember the help Mr. Quayle was during the years after your parents' death. He raised you and your brother Jake until you could live on your own. There's a painting of your older brother Jake when he was just a baby. You often think of Jake, wondering where he is and what he is doing. And just across the page is a painting of you. You must have been about 18 months old. And finally, you see a photo of your entire family together. You remember the excitement of posing together in front of the camera. It's a very, very special photo to you. Well, if that's the case, let's take that photo. Look desk. It's a roll-top desk. The desk is open. Close desk. Ooh, look desk. A crumpled, slightly faded, and wedged between the slats of the roll-top is what appears to be a misplaced bank statement. Take statement. Cool. Read statement. It's your handwritten quarterly statement from the Brooklyn Bank. Upon examining it, you notice that your account number is 116, which is randomly generated, and that you have $200 in your account, which is not. Alright, that's all we really need to do here. Doodle-doo. But yeah, this is one of those, like, back in the days of playing Sierra Adventure games, my brothers and sister and I, this is one of those games that was insanely difficult to play. Look, gazebo. You remember playing around the gazebo as a child. You would lose your candy and coins through the wide cracks in the gazebo floor. I'm just going to take some of these flowers here, by the way. Cool. Look floor. Floor is made of wooden planks with wide cracks between them. Look cracks. You see the sparkle of something shiny. Ah, yes. Closer look reveals a gold coin under the gazebo. Jake, coin. This is also... Yep, I got it. This is also a game that you can get screwed over in so many ways. So many. We're actually going to play this game... We're going to go through this entire game in one sitting. Ring bell. But what can I do for you? Check mail. But there's 3 different ways to go through this game, and there's a lot of puzzles with different solutions, so it's super interesting. You've been checking your mailbox every day for the last 11 years hoping to hear from Jake. I'm real sorry, Jared. There's still no word. I know how close the two of you were. Thanks for checking. I hope I hear from Jake someday. So there's obviously a story going on there, so let's go find out what that story is. Look. Business office of the Brooklyn Evening Star. Look building. As a child, you visited this building often. You wanted to learn everything you could about the newspaper business. And now I work here. Cool. It's so nice to see you again, Jared. Don't be such a stranger. You work so much, I worry about you. Talk, man. You're a very ambitious young man, Jared. You're going to go places in this company. Also, check out that guy in the lower right. What? Those things I always loved as a kid. Good day, Mr. Wilson. Are you ready for today's economy update? I'm ready. Go ahead. The Brooklyn economy is strong. Property is holding its value. If nothing out of the ordinary happens, this will continue. However, there have been rumors of the discovery of gold in California. If there's any truth to these rumors, it could have a profound effect on the local economy. Cool. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. You have found your office. You have a nice desk here. Look desk. It's a nice desk with a blotter. Look blotter. Around the edge of your blotter, you see a corner of the newspaper clippings you keep under it. Read clippings. These clippings are very important to you. You often find yourself reading them often, wondering where your brother is and what he is doing. These clippings describe the complicated episode of your only brother, Jake. Jake was falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit. Though Jake was promised a fair trial, the townspeople weren't interested in justice. The result would have been a foregone conclusion. Jake's only alternative was to leave town and never come back. When he left Brooklyn, you wanted to go with him. Jake told you to stay with because it may be dangerous. But he did promise that he would contact you if something important happened. He left 11 years ago and you haven't heard from him since. So that's sad. But I mean, you're talking like 1848. I mean, we're going to get to it, but crossing the state was a big deal. Crossing the country was even bigger. All right, let's go down to Yon Graveyard. Though it is painful, you visit the cemetery occasionally. You have loved ones buried here. Cool. Some graves have flowers on them. In loving memory of Martha Wilson, age 31. May she rest in peace. Survived by her sons Jake and Jared. Marshall Wilson, taken away 1929, age 33. Men whose steps are worthy to walk in. This great name to be carried on by Jake and Jared. Place flowers. When you visit your parents' graves, you bring a bouquet of flowers in their memory. It was a dark, damp, dreary, cold, rainy, windy winter night many years ago that your mother and father were suddenly taken in an unfortunate horse-drawn buggy accident. How quickly and tragically they were taken. You never have, and most likely never will, understood why. That was a weird sentence. This is a Sierra adventure game. Don't worry about those save files. But basically, you can die in so many different ways that it's not even really funny. You can die in a horse-drawn buggy accident. All right, let's go back to the... Let's go back to the post office. Not yet. Okay. So the important thing about this game is that it's timer-driven. We're waiting for something to happen. Which kind of sucks, but, you know, whatever. However, if you do things too late, it's just as bad as if you do things too early. So you gotta be careful. Read poster. Oh. The New York-built steamer Seafarer now has all our cargo engaged and will have a prompt dispatch. Bound for California, buy ticket from London at 12 Front Street. Alright. But yeah, this is, if you remember Tyler and I playing through Space Quest 1 and 2, this is a game that came out right around the same time. There were a lot of games based on this engine, which I believe is called the AGI engine. This is the bank. Don't really care. But this was back when the... Ooh, there it is. How much time has passed? 4 minutes. Ring bell. Ding ding. Check mail. Whoop. Postmaster exclaims, "Good news, Jared. You have a letter." Place the letter on the counter. Take letter. Look letter. The envelope is tattered from traveling across the continent. There is no return address, but there is a postmark and a stamp. Look postmark. It's difficult to read, but you're able to decipher Sutter's Fort. Look stamp. One of the first adhesive stamps ever. You notice a lump under the stamp. Open letter. Read letter. Jared, this letter is of great importance, as you will find. I live in the area drained by the American River. Today I buried Pa in a nearby cemetery. Only you will understand. Come here quickly. Farewell, Jake. P.S. Bring family photo from home so I will know it's you. So this isn't the original Sierra version of the game. This is the I don't remember. It was right at the start. You saw it. But basically they remade the game and they changed a few things very subtly. The PS used to be bring something from home so I will know it's you. That's it. Now it's bring family photo from home so I know it's you. Also, if you read the capitalized words only, great find in the American River. Also, he said he buried Pa in a nearby cemetery, but we just visited the graves of our father, so no, that's not true. This is a letter from your long-lost brother Jake. There's some interesting holes in it that look to have been cut intentionally. Peel stamp. Remove stamp. You peel back the corner of the stamp and find a gold flake. Jake has found gold. Well, we got to get to Sutter's Fort, California. So, to get to Sutter's Fort, we got to take some very particular actions. We can't afford it. We don't have any money to our name right now. We have $15 to our name, which is actually quite a lot for 1848. House prices are stable, so let's sell the house. Your house means a lot to you, but you put it up for sale. I mean, if I'm going to California, I'm never coming back. Gotta go find my brother. Gotta go find Jake. Gotta go find Jake. And then we just gotta wait. No one can hear you at this distance. Yeah, there's a lot of really subtle things about this game that they did, which is pretty cool. Like, there's nobody close by. There's a lot of things that are based on timers, which wasn't terribly common. Timer runs throughout the entire game. I mean, there's a bunch of different technical things that they did with this game. People's hands move in a weird kind of arcing pattern, as opposed to the straight chug, 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 choo, choo thing that you saw in the earlier Sierra games. So that was pretty cool. But I remember we played this game a lot because it's so freaking hard. But yeah, like I said, there's 3 ways that you can get to California. We're going to go take a look at 2 of them, but we're going to do all 3 because this game isn't actually very long if you know what you're doing. We're going to miss about 95 to 97 points because once you actually get to California, you get a point for finding gold. You can get up to 50 points that way. And then you get a point for finding gold in a different place, and you can get up to 50 points that way. I don't have time for that shit. You don't have time for that shit, so don't worry about it. Come on. So here's the thing. After 15 minutes have passed, the announcement comes that you are fortunate to own such a fine piece of real estate. I would like this property and I'm willing to pay top dollar. Will you accept $850 in cash for your house? Yes. Congratulations. Property values are at a premium. You have conducted a prime sale. You're sad that your house is gone, but you'll always have the memories. You give the real estate man the keys to your house. You say, Mr. Quayle will come to pick up my personal belongings. So here's the deal. After gold is discovered, we need to save. After gold is discovered, property values drop like a rock, and you can only get like $400 for your house. And this is 12 Front Street, by the way. And all of the ways that you have to get to California go up in price very fast, or very high, so such that you can only go one specific way, and it costs most of your money to get there. I'm getting some business for my poster in the warehouse, Jared. What can I help you with today? So we're going to do the first way. Buy ticket. Never find a cheaper time to travel, Jared, and there's room on the ship. The routes for California are around Cape Horn or by way of Panama. Prices are Panama route $900, Cape route $600. Those go up to like $1,300 and $1,900 later. Yes, I want the Cape route. Yes, that'll be $615 cash. Buy ticket. So we could do that because we, sold our house for $850. Sweet. But there's a couple of other things that we have to do in order to get ready. First is we got to go to the bank and get our sweet, sweet money out. Because we ain't going to leave anything behind, apparently. Hello. Get money. 116. Ding, ding, ding. Here's your $200. If you don't find the bank statement, which is actually pretty obscure at times, then don't kill me, thank you. Those horse-drawn carts can run you over and just kill you without warning. If you don't remember your bank statement, you can ask Mr. Quayle, who works at the store, for help, but you don't get points for it. Hey, what's up? Buy fruit. Very well, sir. I see that your account has a positive balance. I'll put that on your account. All right, see you. Excuse me, sir. Yes? I've heard rumors about gold in California. I figured since you work at the newspaper office, you might know if they were true. At this time, the rumors are just that, rumors. That's what I thought. But if they are true, and I hope they are, I'd be on my way today. Such that if you wait until you discover gold, then gold is discovered, the grocery store closes. But we do need the fruit for reasons. And that is everything that we need to do. Cape Horn is super easy. Ship is ready to go. We've been waiting for you. Let's get going. Oh, I missed 2 points. Oh, I forgot to quit my job. God damn it. All right, so let's just go. Oh, dang it. That's the fastest? Good lord. All right, we'll just do this really quick. This won't take long. Buy ticket. Yes. Cape. Yes. Buy ticket. You. Everybody else can walk in the street like it ain't no thing, and I'm always so worried about getting hit by a freaking horse-drawn cart. It's so ridiculous. If you walk in the grass, you lose a point, which is kind of stupid. But there is a sign that says don't walk on the grass, so, it's their own damn fault. You fool. Alright. Boop-a-doo. Do. Quit job. But Jared, you're one of the best. But a man has to do what a man has to do. I wish you the very best, Jared. We'll miss you around here. Done. Like dinner. The livery. Which is not, as I thought as a kid, where you go to get some livers. And is in fact where horses get liveried. Yeah, I know, it's weird. This game was also super hard to me because I played this when I was 6. Sweet. Da-da-da-da-da. So, not only did I not understand the concept of, a plot and puzzle solutions, I also didn't understand the concept of, plot and puzzle solutions, which you may have noticed is kind of important in this game. And in all Sierra games, if we're honest. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you. Alright, so let's go do the Cape Horn route. This is also a game that is terribly, terribly unforgiving. If you mess up even once, and sometimes through no fault of your own damn self, then you're boned. And there's nothing you can do about it. We'll probably run into that at least once. Don't worry. Alright, I said this game doesn't have music. It does. Rake those leaves, buddy. This guy always creeped me out because of his frickin' eyes. Look at those eyes. Those are serial killer eyes. Rakes those leaves with an intensity not seen before. Alright. Hope you're ready for some fucking history. Because if there's one thing Sierra really likes, it's historically accurate simulators. Boom! Here's the ship. Talk, man. What are you going to do when you get to California? I'm going straight to the town of Coloma. I've heard there's gold aplenty there. I'm with my partner. I'm heading straight for Coloma. You met this young man, Eric, the first day you were on the ship. You were both from Brooklyn, the same age, and had the same interests, one of them gold. The two of you have been friends ever since. Talk, man. Hi, Jared. We're one day closer to that California gold. This is easier than I thought it was going to be. That's right, one day closer. I'll drop by and talk to you later. Okay, that sounds great. Make sure you come by again. There is only one thing that we actually have to do in one of these scenes, and that's talk to this guy. We are on our way to California, but we have a long trip ahead of us. You are right. It's going to be a long trip and you will want something to read. Take this book. I'd like to give it to you. Please take it. Thank you. You're welcome. We got a Bible. What are you doing with all this time on your hand that you have in your hands? It's a long voyage to those gold fields. I figure I'm just going to relax and enjoy the ride. Control N. Land has just disappeared from view. The excitement, expectation, and anticipation of your journey are gone. Now you're beginning to wonder just exactly what you have gotten yourself into. So, going from the Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean these days, super easy. Go through the Panama Canal. This is 1848. The Panama Canal is a pipe dream that's 70 years away. You have left your home and friends behind, and you wonder if you will ever see them again. If you know your geography, you know where the Cape Horn is. Hasn't taken long, and many of the passengers are seasick. It will take a few days before the landlubbers get their sea legs. The passengers, for now at least, are quiet and keep to themselves. But as time goes on, people meet people and have a wonderful time getting acquainted. From passing ships, you hear rumors about gold being discovered in California. So we've been gone for 1 week and 1 day. Most travelers left with great haste, but very few left without a notebook, a pen, and an ink bottle. Many passengers on board are keeping journals of the experiences they have on their journey. Playing cards, singing, reading, sunning, and wrestling are other popular activities. Any reading material on board was read to tatters before the journey had barely begun. Captain is relatively young as captains go, but he is a wise and frugal man. The captain makes use of the northeast trade winds through the horse latitudes. He makes use of the wind and sails at every opportunity to conserve the supply of coal and prevent wear and tear on the steam engine. The food on board is not as bad as expected. In fact, if you are really hungry, it is quite tasty. This early in the voyage, rations that are provided are quite safe. Very few get sick from eating them. The food is not yet spoiled. The usual fare is a hard-baked biscuit, salted beef, and boiled pudding once a week. In the course of the trip, various activities begin to occur on board. There are debating societies, clergymen have sermons and prayer meetings on Sundays, a band is formed, a ship newspaper has been started, and professionals on board gives lectures on scientific subjects. There's also a group called SSA, which stands for Seasickness Anonymous. This group meets at the aft railing of the ship. Blah. When the northeast trade winds die down around the equator, a seaman finds himself in an area called the doldrums, or calms, a place definitely disliked by crews without steam. Many a sailing ship would lie still in the water for days, even weeks, waiting to take advantage of even the slightest wind. This is one of the greatest advantages of steam! While other vessels lie motionless, with smoke belching from your smokestack, you press on. Captain is proud of his ship because it makes way even in the calm, but he is constantly aware of the danger of having that flammable material in the hold. So, you can see right now we have Control N for next scene. There's literally nothing to worry about in this scene. Nothing bad is going to happen. I also didn't get cholera, so that's good. You say to your best friend on the ship, I've noticed that you're not looking healthy lately. It's probably just a slight case of seasickness. You'll be over it in no time. It's true, Jared. I've not been feeling well lately. I hope you're right about the seasickness, says Eric. All right. There's nothing else happening. This is when you can go get the Bible if you haven't already. But you're aboard a mighty steamer, but it is not the most common type of vessel on the high seas. Clippers are the sovereigns of the seas. It will not be uncommon to see many clippers during your voyage. My eye is itchy. While passing through the area of the equator, the heat gets unbearable. The deck is too hot to walk on. The tar bubbles in the seams of the deck. The island of Fernando Novenhu, located about 190 miles from Brazil, now comes into view. Rumors abound to the actual story pertaining to this island. Some say Alexander Selkirk, more commonly known as Robinson Crusoe, was exiled here. Others claim that the Brazilian government uses the island as a place of exile and prison. Who really knows? Not I. In calm weather, especially aboard the sailing ships, one of the favorite pastimes is catching porpoises, cowfish, or any other fish that can be hooked. These catches provide a much-needed diversion from your now monotonous diet. Eventually, the familiar constellations of the northern hemisphere begin to disappear, and the Southern Cross, composed of 4 brilliant stars marking the 4 corners of the cross, begin to rise in the night sky. Another new sight in the night sky is the Magellan Clouds. There's a golden mist in the sky similar to the Milky Way. When another ship is sighted, the race is on. The competition is fierce, especially among sailing vessels. However, captains of sailing vessels love to beat steamers at every opportunity. Steamers are consistent, but not necessarily the fastest. When approaching a port, the crew begins painting and polishing. They want the steamer to be ship-shape when it pulls into port. Even at sea, the crew is rarely idle. They are continually busy, tending to the needs of the ship to make your voyage a speedy one. You pass many ships leaving Rio, as well as many barks and brigantines steering south towards Rio. Rio de Janeiro. Sugarloaf. Every person on board is looking forward to going ashore. You've been like a caged animal on this ship for nearly 6 weeks. Ships of every kind, brigs, barks, brigantines, schooners, clippers, steamers, from nearly every country come and go. Whaling, cargo, passenger, and even slave ships come and go. The stay in Rio normally lasts about 10 days. Could be more, could be less, depending on the extent of the repairs. During this time, supplies, including coal, wood, fresh water, and food, are replenished. Small repairs are made, and the ship is prepared for the next leg of the journey. The fruit here is plentiful. You manage to secure more of the fruit to which you attribute your good health. If you don't buy fruit before you leave on the Cape Horn route, you die of scurvy. And this is a fine, well-protected southern harbor, which makes for a favorite stopping point for ships preparing to round the perilous Cape Horn. The Cape Horn route is more about random luck than any other one. The Overland route, which is the third one, is more about quick thinking, puzzles. And the Panama route is kind of a mix of both. Just south of Rio, the captain advises you that you have crossed the Tropic of Capricorn, the invisible line in the globe at 23 degrees 27 minutes south latitude that separates the torrid zone from the south temperate zone. Most passengers on board have little use for such trivia, but it's reassuring to know that you are making progress. We need to desperately save here. Rumors are starting to spread about the difficult times you are going to encounter in a few short weeks. You hear horror stories about getting around Cape Horn. It's been 2 months. Passing the 45th parallel, the temperature begins to drop. Passengers begin spending more time below deck. When you left Brooklyn, it was the dead of summer. It seems to have slipped everyone's mind, at least until now, that June is the dead of winter here. Freezing temperatures are making this painfully clear. Captains vary in age, experience, and wisdom, but all captains, no matter what their background or experience, approach the Cape with great respect. They all realize they are extremely vulnerable to the elements. As you approach the southern tip of South America, the captain advises all persons aboard that the sea you are about to encounter attains a degree of violence unknown in any other part of the globe. Now, well, we're fucked, and the ship is taking on water. Anything that isn't absolutely essential to the continuation of the voyage has been thrown overboard. Fortunately, the gold coin was in your pocket, so you still have that. Jake's letter, along with the gold flake under the stamp, was in your hip pocket, so that is still with you. Family photo was in your pocket, so you still have that. The Bible wasn't thrown overboard. Everyone agreed to keep that. Everything else now belongs to the Raging Sea. So, you'll notice that I don't have a control N to go to the next scene. You can still save. So we're just going to kill ourselves. The ship is going to go down. Boo! Yay! So the good news is we can just hit this, and all the messages that we would normally get are suppressed. Also, that's the Falkland Islands that were just to the right of our cursor right now. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, now we have a control N for next scene. So now we know that we're not going to go down unless we spend too much time on this screen. Yes, you can still drown, but basically the ship hits an iceberg and goes down. With great concern, you ask Eric, how have you been lately? I'm doing tolerably well. However, if the conditions get any worse, I don't know if I'll make it. You see the once powerful form of Eric, sitting slouched on the steps writing in his journal. But there's nothing interesting happening here. This is just a case of, hey, we threw a whole bunch of your shit overboard. Now that's all you got. Just before rounding Cape Horn, the captain points out Deceit Rocks, which are colored white from the bird droppings. Cool. Rounding the cape from east to west is not an easy task. If all goes well, it is usual for a sailing ship to allow 3 to 5 weeks to get to the west side of the Horn. Winds in the area of the cape rarely blow less than 45 miles an hour and almost always from the west. Gales in this area can easily pick up a schooner and smash it on the rocky shore. The raging seas are the temperature of melting ice. You scarcely get 6 hours of daylight. When it is light, it is of little benefit. The overcast hugs the seas and visibility is very low. It is not uncommon for it to snow here in the summertime. Captain is continuously looking through his looking glass, keeping track of the ship's progress and position. He also makes entries in his log religiously. Nowhere is navigation more difficult than in these waters. Some sailing ships would take 70 days to round the cape. Some ships would turn back because of the damage the sea had done to them. Some ships would not make it at all. Occasionally you see floating wreckage and debris from less fortunate vessels. But we are lucky. We are not going down. When you met Eric, he was strong and healthy. Now he is thin and very weak. He stays outside despite the cold to breathe fresh air. With all the enthusiasm he can muster, he says, I feel very weak, Jared, but I'm going to make it to California. I'm determined to make it to California. Trying to be as convincing as possible, you say, that's right. We're both going to make it to California. So you can go down in either of the two previous scenes. But you can also see that the coal actually goes down as you use it up, which is pretty cool. Ooh, we're going to grab some stuff while we're here. I'm going to take the stick, guys. Is that okay? Workers don't mind if you take the stick. You need to get closer. You notice some metal scraps on the floor around the engine. Excuse me, young man. I see you noticed my engines. These are a couple of beauties. They're nothing but pure power. I'm mighty proud of these engines, I sure am. Cat, don't do that. Take scraps. You pick up the metal scraps, being careful not to cut your hands, and put them in your bucket. Paperclip that was on the desk is now lying on the floor. It's been tossed there by the storm. Cool. We don't actually need to do this right now, but it just means that a later scene is a lot easier. You can also see that the provisions below are actually getting low. Oops. Look, bunks. Bunks are made neatly. Look, floor. Long piece of string on the floor. Thinking that the string might come in handy someday, pick it up and put it in your pocket. With the rounding of Cape Horn, also called Cape Stiff by many sailors because of the difficulty of rounding it behind you, the captain steers the steamer north by northwest. It is everyone's goal to reach the port of Valparaiso, which means Paradise Valley. It has now been almost 3 months. This is the longest route to California. As the temperature rises, so do your spirits. You can imagine why. Off the coast of Chile, the ocean is swarming with sea cows. A little farther off the coast of Chile, about 400 miles to be exact, is Juan Fernandez, the island most often recognized as the island on which Robinson Crusoe was actually exiled in 1704. Every person on board has been looking forward to arriving at Valparaiso. Paraiso? They've been in close quarters for too long. The port of Valparaiso is shallow, so the boat is anchored offshore. People go ashore and supplies are brought aboard by a continuous stream of small boats going back and forth from the shore to the ship. While ashore, people would nearly kill for a current newspaper to read, but the word is confirmed. Gold has been discovered in California. You waste no time in loading the ship with only that which is absolutely necessary and head for California. Doop. The only excitement today was the crossing of the Tropic of Capricorn. For the second and last time on this voyage, the unbearable heat isn't far away again. The captain sees another ship. He always knows what kind of ship it is and under what flags it sails. There goes a British full-rigged three-master. Saw an interesting sight today. Flying fish! Fishing has become one of the favorite pastimes, especially since the weather has warmed up. Those who don't partake in the fishing enjoy watching for whales and porpoises. On the west side of South America, the crew anticipates arriving in California and begins putting things in order. Crew is busy scrubbing the deck, chipping off rust, painting and polishing. Most of the passengers who were keeping journals at the beginning of the trip have stopped by now, but throughout the entire trip, people have been reading whatever they can get their hands on. Most days aboard the ship are spent in utter monotony. There's nothing to do, at least nothing you feel like doing, but watch an occasional ship come and go, watch the sun rise out of the water, move across the sky, and then set into the water again, day after day after day. The last leg of the journey is slow and seems to drag on forever. The walls seem to be moving in. They're positive the ship is only half the size it was when it left Brooklyn. Moments of solitude and privacy are non-existent. Fellow passengers who only a month ago seemed easy to get along with now seem impossible to tolerate. Fights break out over trifles. There's constant bickering and gossip. Before, you complained of having the same food to eat meal after meal, but now you would gladly eat anything. Provisions are running dangerously low. This is the one time that you actually have to solve a puzzle. Food is running out on board the ship. Everyone is suffering. One man has already died. It was Eric. In the past, the crew has fished for food. During the storm, the fishing tackle was washed overboard and many items are scattered on the floor. All the items that we just grabbed were technically scattered by the storm, and that's why we couldn't get them until we actually did the storm. But basically, we finally cooked the pig. That's what it is there. The provisions are gone. All that's left is the ship's mascot. It's now steaming on the table. There's only one problem. I may have waited too long before preparing the pig. It may be diseased. So far, no one has had the nerve to try it. I'll take meat. Grab a nice slab of pig meat from the steaming pig. Hesitantly, you take a bite of the pig meat, fearful that it may be poison. Thanks to your courage, everyone knows the meat is safe to eat. You will all survive the rest of the journey. Oh, wow. I did not know that was an option. Let's try that again. Wow. I didn't even know that was a possibility. So here's what you're supposed to do, rather than risking it. Because, yeah, that can totally kill you. You grab the stick, the string, the metal scraps for weight, paperclip for a hook, and the meat for bait, and you fish. You've done it. You've found the perfect place to fish, and you have everything you need to do it. And that gets you far more points. You pull the string you found in the bunk room out of your pocket and attach one end of it to the wooden stick. The other end you attach to the paperclip. Tie the metal scraps from the engine room to the string a few feet from the paperclip. And last but certainly not least, you gladly take that piece of pork out of your pocket and carefully place it on the paperclip so that it won't fall off. With great anticipation, you lower this makeshift apparatus into the churning sea. So the correct solutions are the ones that don't take unnecessary risks. Hum nom 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 nom. I got me a fish. Once again, Jared, you have saved the day and the lives of those around you. You reel in the catch of the day and share it with your companions. Now you will all make it to California. Captain has given word that you're only a few weeks from the coast of California. This seems to calm everyone's nerves. The arguments and fights subside. been almost 5 months. It's a long-ass trip. As the ship nears California, you begin to forget the hardships and tough times you've just endured. Promises made to the Almighty while rounding the Cape are all but forgotten. Somehow those times don't seem as tough now. Much more important now is the topic of nearly every conversation on the ship, where people plan to go to search for gold and how they are going to get it and what they are going to do with the fortune they discover there. There is also much fretting and worrying about arriving too late and missing out on the best opportunities. Hopefully there will still be plenty of gold left when you get there. The path that you choose, the longer it takes, the less... the more difficult it is to find gold. So, you gotta be careful. For the crew, no portion of the voyage is without danger. They must maintain their vigilance to the very end. You are fortunate that the ship has a sufficient supply of coal to make it to the California. Other steamers run out of coal. When that happened, spars, doors, bunks, and portions of the deck were ripped up and fed into the firebox to keep that ship moving towards the gold fields. The ship is now approaching the Golden Gate and your journey is approaching its end. The dense fogs makes it difficult, not to mention dangerous, to find the entrance to the Golden Gate. Yes, the Golden Gate Bay Bridge entrance. There was no bridge there originally. It's a long-awaited promised land, and it's... What a beautiful sight. 5 months and basically a week. All kinds from every country. The boats and ships are too numerous to count. It looks as if they're stacked on top of each other, but they seem to be deserted. Everyone on board is sure they're too late now. Energy levels run high among the prospectors on board. They know there is no time to waste. Up the Sacramento River. "95 out of 95. Right on track." So that's the Cape Horn route. Let's go back. How much money do I have? 865. I don't think I have enough to... Let's go get our money from the bank. And then we will go oh, wait, no, we don't even have to do that. We'll just go the overland route. Sweet. Walk in, I'm walking along. Walk in. Yeah, I need my money. I should save after this. Oh, I should go quit my job and then save, so I don't have to do that when I come back to do the Panama route. Panama route is very luck-based. Quit job, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cared, old man. The other important thing to do with the overland route and the Cape Horn route is fruit. Pretty sure you always need it. But stage travel. Now, the overland route is actually kind of interesting. Buy ticket. You've decided to head west. Furthest west I can get you is Independence, Missouri. There you will join a wagon team heading west. It's $200. Yes. Buy ticket. Give you some information you might find helpful later, so listen up. I have enlisted you as a member of the Long Island Joint Mining and Stock Company. You should be able to locate the company once you arrive in Independence. To get started, show this ticket to the man at the livery stable. Have a safe trip. Good luck, Jared. So the overland route is the only one that you can afford after the after gold is discovered, and the price is something ridiculous, like $800. I'm gonna buy some fruit just in case. Yeah, see how that didn't give me points? Because I've already chosen my route. It does not affect it. So, overland route. This horse can kick you and kill you. In fact... Oh! Wow. The deaths in this game are not because of stupidity or anything either. It's just bad luck, mostly. I hope you strike it rich. So, if you... Cool. If you live in the US, you've probably grew up in like the 80s, 90s, you've probably played a game called the Oregon Trail. The overland route is the Oregon Trail until it turns south for California, and if you've played, I think, Oregon Trail 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, then you know that you can actually take different paths and get to California. That's the path that we're going to take on this one. Unfortunately, there's a lot of waiting here. Ferry to New York. Yay! Oh my god, make it stop. Thank god. Alright. So it's the same thing, only this time we're going left to right, or right to left. First stop in your journey is beautiful Buffalo, New York. You'll gladly set off the stage at Buffalo and embark on the Great Lakes steamer. Lake Erie, Cleveland, Toledo, Detroit, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan. In Chicago, a city with a whopping 20,000 inhabitants, which was a lot back in those days, you disembark the Great Lakes steamer only to board another water-going vessel, a canal boat. This will take you to Peru, Illinois, a ride of about 100 miles. After Peru, the next leg of your trip will be aboard a river steamer, which will take you to St. Louis via the Illinois and Mississippi rivers. It may seem unbelievable, but you have to change steamers again in St. Louis. You are glad to discover that this will be your last boat ride, not knowing that in a few short weeks you will long for a relaxing boat to ride. You board another steamer in St. Louis and ride about 390 miles up the Missouri River to Independence, Missouri. Hurry up and wait, you'll be in Independence in approximately 2 days. And this takes only a couple of weeks. This isn't that bad. You don't look long before you find the Long Island Joint Mining and Stock Company camp set up just north of Independence. With a great deal of anticipation, you enter the camp. Crap. Maybe it's the long trip you've just endured, but your extremities feel as if they are cramping up. You have never suffered from motion sickness before, but your tummy isn't feeling well. You had a drink before you left Brooklyn, but now you seem dehydrated. Yep, I've got cholera. Nothing you can do, it just sometimes kills you. Boop. Sometimes terrible things happen. And yes, that was something that could totally happen. Oh, god damn it. I gotta go all the way back here. Jim, cut this out. Excellent. And we're back and we don't have cholera. So, we need to find the captain. You find the man who appears to be the leader of this company and introduce yourself to him. Excuse me, sir. My name is Jared Wilson. I'll be going to California with you. Welcome to the Long Island Joint Mining and Stock Company, Jared, bellows this seasoned-looking man. It is great to have you join us. My name is Captain Buddy. That's right, Captain Buddy. I'm going to do everything in my power to take this company safely across the country to California. Before we get too far, Jared, there's something you need to know. The company fund is running low. I'm asking all of the company members to contribute everything they can so that we can make it to California as soon as possible. Well, that's okay. I've got like $1,000, right? Yeah, $865. That's a lot of money in 1800s. Thank you so much, Jared. You're a bright-looking young man, Jared, and I have an assignment for you. When the plains are turning green from the growing grass and the mud is beginning to dry, we need to make haste to the riches in California. But in order to do that, we are going to need a fine team of animals to pull these heavy wagons. I am charging you with the responsibility of obtaining these animals. The company fund will pick up the tab. Head south into Independence to find the teams and report back to me when you have accomplished your mission. All right. Let's go this way. Buy aminals. You've come to the right place for that. This is what I have to offer you. Mules, young oxen, or mature oxen. Which would you like? This seems like a choice that could have very interesting implications, but mules get you attacked by hostile Indians, young oxen don't get across the desert, and mature oxen are the correct choice. Oh, that's our new point sound. Also, you can see that I've grown a beard and all my clothes suck. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Report back to the captain that you've secured a team of animals and they will be delivered to camp later today. Trust that you have selected the right animals to pull our wagons across the country. If you haven't, then you won't find out for like 20 minutes. Another assignment for you. It is up to you to determine when our company should head west. If we leave too early, and the plains will be muddy and the wagons will sink to their axles. The animals will not have enough grass to eat. But if we wait until the plains are fully green, it may be too late. Then we will face the gut-wrenching thought of encountering an early winter storm in the Sierra Nevada mountains. There's a great view of the plains from the north edge of the camp. When you decide it is time to leave, tell me to head west. And now we get to hurry up and wait. Talk, man. Blah, blah, blah. Give me your Bible. Thank you. So this is something that I could never figure out as a kid, and I never actually finished the Overland route as a kid. Basically, you have to look at the plains and wait. And just wait. It's, we've got a dip. Nope, not what I wanted. Let's save the game. Overland, cool. But yeah, basically we're waiting. So this is one of those games that got me really interested in history growing up. There was a lot of games like that, but this is one of the ones that got me interested in like late 19th century stuff. Because, insofar as this is an adventure game, it's still based in history. And the manual that came with this game was, I shit you not, like 100 pages long about the gold rush. And it's really interesting. It's a really interesting period. Like, I love history. Like, I've talked about this in some of the series that I've done with Matt, but history has always interested me. Because as much as fiction is interesting as well, history is stuff that actually happened, whereas fiction is stuff that people are making up to seem dramatic. History is far more dramatic than anything that you could find in fiction. Just because it actually happened. But yeah, this is one of those games that got me really interested in this sort of stuff. It was like, and this is, the Overland route especially is one where you really have to study the manual to understand why you failed. Yeah, I'm still waiting. Just make sure. Yeah, okay. But even things like, oh, we're going to go to the Panama route, so we're going to use the Panama Canal. As a kid, I thought that was obvious. As an adult, I realized that's stupid because, again, the Panama Canal isn't there. So the Panama route is actually one of the more treacherous ones. Or the fact that people used to sail around the Cape Horn all the goddamn time. Like, how fucking crazy is that shit, you know? But, keen eyes notice that the plains are growing greener. The mud is beginning to dry. This is the proper time to head west. If you wait too long, you get caught in a snowstorm in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Which might be familiar to some people who have studied history. Go west. Okay, men, our scout Jared is determined that it's time to break camp and head west. Let's hitch him up and move him out. There are several puzzles on this one, but there's a lot of waiting too. It's 2,100 miles to California, but after only a few miles, your company and every other company heading west realizes that the wagons are too heavy. You begin what will be the start of a continual process, lightening the wagons. Traffic is very heavy leaving Independence. There must be hundreds of wagons, usually pulled by 6 to 8 mules or oxen on the trail. The trails have become deeply rutted, making passage difficult. Wagon axles break, wheels fall off, wagons sink up to their axles in mud. If they cannot be pulled out, they are abandoned. 45 miles down the trail forks. The south is to the Santa Fe Trail. To the north, the Oregon-California Trail. Very few take the southern route. Santa Fe, New Mexico, I think. Yeah. It isn't long before the first Indians are encountered. The first Indians encountered are the Shawnee and Potawatomis. Much to the surprise of most traveler and disappointment of some, they are very friendly and helpful. Crossing the Kansas River. You can fall off the thing and die there. Just randomly. Oh, come on. Am I dead? How the fuck did I die? I've never seen frickin' cholera kill me there. Jesus. Oh, now we're stuck waiting. Remind me to save as soon as we leave again. No, don't do that. That's a bad thing. Because your death is determined as soon as the map loads. But yeah, this game is very unforgiving, and this is like the Sierra game that basically says, hey, are you saving all the time? Because you should be. I don't know what I was talking about anymore. History? Yeah, history. History is very interesting to me. I think my favorite historical period is probably like the mid to late Renaissance or early 20th century. I really like that time period. First half of the 20th century is well, the first half of the 20th century is what made the world that we live in the world that it is. So, I mean, that's all important. So, but yeah, I love studying history. It's I like historical movies too. Like especially movies like come on. I like war movies. Saving Private Ryan obviously is a great one, but even like historical movies about little known things such as the Spotlight, the story about the newspaper that broke the priest scandal in the Catholic Church in like the late 2000s. That stuff's interesting. Nixon Frost, about the interviews of Nixon with David Frost after Nixon was retired and was given a pardon. All that stuff is super interesting to me. Go west. Alright, let's hope I don't die of cholera or fall off a raft or some other bullshit here. Jesus Christ. Yep. Blah, blah, blah. Crossing the Kansas River. And I fell off. Nothing you could do. It was just an accident. So yeah, this is a game that essentially punishes you through no fault of your own in order to show you how fucking treacherous this Westland or this California trip was. But your success or failure is determined as soon as this particular map loads. If yeah, I didn't fall off. Did I get cholera? I didn't get cholera. Hooray. You are now approaching the land of the Pawnee Indians. This is the tribe of Indians that is most feared by the travelers. It's necessary to keep a keen watch at all times. Plains teem with buffalo. Herds of them stretch as far as the eye can see. Wildlife is extremely abundant. The traveling masses do little to preserve their surroundings as they make haste to the west. While traveling the trail, you have found that those who have gone before you have left a trail of litter and garbage. If there was no trail, you would hardly have noticed. You could just follow the trash. It's a sad sight. Also along the way, you find discouraged travelers heading back home in their wagons. The first major milestone is Fort Kearny. It was recently built by the U.S. Army to attempt to keep peace between the Pawnee and Sioux Indians. Travelers look forward to Fort Kearny for various reasons. Some just want a place to mail letters. Others are interested in how many others have passed before them. Leaders want information on the condition of the trail ahead. Let's save here. Boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Trail is wide and easy to traverse. The Platte River provides an ample supply of water. Between Fort Kearny and Fort Laramie, the company should average 17 miles per day. The upward slope is so gentle that the animals barely feel the grade. Discarding those unnecessary items in Fort Kearny really paid off. Captain advises the rest of the company that this will be the easiest part of your trip, so you'd better enjoy it. It's been a month. Okay. Due to the lack of wood to burn for fires, the common fuel substitute is buffalo chips. They burn well if they are dry. If they are damp, they smoke a lot, and if they are wet, they are next to fireproof. Buffalo chips is dung. It's buffalo poop. One of the main obstacles between you and Fort Laramie is the crossing of the South Platte River. What makes this crossing so difficult is that the riverbed is like quicksand. Trail ahead will take the company by the most prominent landmarks of the trek and also of the West. Ash Hollow. Courthouse Rock. Chimney Rock. All along the way, the wagons have been getting lighter, but climbing the gentle slopes of the North Platte, your captain finds it necessary to lighten the load even more. Captain also takes note of the need to increase the care given to the animal teams. There is much tough terrain ahead. Fort Laramie is another military station along the way that weary travelers long to reach. Once they arrive, many meet with great disappointment. They are unable to acquire many of the articles they desperately need, such as fresh animals to replace those that have died along the way, or those that will not last much longer. You could have all the money in the world and it would be useless. They just aren't available. Just move here. Don't want to get myself stuck in an untenable situation. Leaving Fort Laramie, the scenery changes abruptly. From the gentle slopes of the plain, you are now traveling into the sandy, steep trails leading into the hills called the Black Hills, because of the dense growth of juniper and pine. It is now obvious that many wagons on the trail are still extremely overloaded, and they have been abandoning all unnecessary items in mass quantities. Abandoned articles consisting of bacon, sugar, camp equipment, cooking utensils, clothes, household furniture, stoves, gridirons, carpenter's tools, blacksmith's anvils, crowbars, drills, augers, gold washers, chisels, axes, trunks, spades, plows, large grindstones, baking ovens, kegs, and barrels are everywhere. One company, once in the Black Hills, finally discarded an entire sawmill they planned to operate in California. Anything of any value that was discarded was usually ruined in some way so that successive travelers would not be able to use the item, which is such a dick move. As for your company, the captain orders that every item that isn't essential to the trip must be discarded no matter how small. Fortunately for you, the solid gold coin you brought with you from Brooklyn was in your pocket, so you still have that. Letter from your long-lost brother Jake was in your hip pocket, along with the gold flake under the stamp, so that is still with you. Your family photo fits in your pocket, so that isn't discarded. The company decides to allow you to keep the Bible, just in case someone needs it later. Everything else is thrown from the wagon beside the trail. So again, we're down to these 6 items. The only way to cross the North Platte River is by ferry. The line of wagons waiting to cross the river sometimes reaches 20 miles in length. Impatient companies cut down trees and make their own rafts for their wagons. Scenery changes once again. The landscape is barren and dotted with sagebrush. This desert-like region has a few widely scattered ponds, most of which are poisonous pools of alkaline water. It's a gruesome sight to see the animals of the result of one of your animals partaking of the poison. Surrounding these alkaline ponds, the sage bushes are outnumbered only by animal carcasses. It is welcome a relief to pass from the alkaline territory into the region of the Sweetwater River, where the water is just that, sweet. At the west end of the Sweetwater Valley, the trail crosses a broad plateau to the South Pass, the halfway point of your cross-country trek. A short break from the seeming never-ending toil of crossing the country is taken at South Pass to celebrate reaching the halfway point of your journey, which coincides with the Continental Divide. You are now on the Pacific side of the Rockies. Really? We crossed the Rockies? All right. It's been 2 months. Almost 2.5 months. Doop, 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 doop. Let's just save here. Your wagon train is now entering an arid stretch of land. It will be 50 miles before you or the waters will be able to taste the refreshing, cool water of the Green River. Every container is filled to the brim with the life-giving water that will be so valuable for the next 2 days. The trail across this desolate wasteland is strewn with dead oxen. The animals, as well as you, are parched and desperately in need of water. Captain bellows a command and the animal team comes to a halt. You are at the top of a steep hill overlooking the Green River. The animals are uncontrollably thirsty. If you don't do something soon, they will pull the wagon down the hill and it will be destroyed. That is a brilliant idea. Thirsty as those animals are, they would have pulled the wagon along with everyone inside over the edge of this steep hill. You're responsible for saving the wagon team, the animal team, the wagon, and the lives of your fellow company members. You are to be commended. Those do not look like oxen. They look like horses. Whatever. So yeah, if you don't do it, then it just... and it crashes. However, it's still going to crash. We have to figure out another way. The animals return refreshed and ready to go. You assist in hitching the wagon. The animals are ready to attempt the steep hill. They will hold the wagon back as best they can, but you suspect it will roll down the hill too fast. There are chains on the wagon next to each wheel. Chain wheels. Using your Yankee ingenuity, you put the chains through the wagon wheels to keep the wheels from turning. The wagon starts moving, so you courageously get on. Things are looking good. So because they don't turn, they drag, which means they go slower, which means that we safely get to the bottom. During this section of the trail, the going gets rough. There are no rivers for your direction to follow. Just seemingly endless miles of gravel, rock, sand, dust, steep hills to climb, and difficult descents. As difficult it is to keep on going, you have to keep those big wheels turning. Big wheel, keep on turning. Trail gets slightly easier for a few miles as you follow the Bear River. This is a welcome relief. Let's just save here. Here the trail forks. The southern route is called Hudspeth's Cutoff. That route is slightly shorter as the crow flies, but it misses the stop at Fort Hall. Captain takes you on the northern route towards the fort. Fort Hall. After leaving Fort Hall, the company follows the Snake River through a portion of Idaho. Get some potatoes while we're there. Delicious potatoes. Common landmark is Steeple Rocks, two pointed columns of rock prominently standing 200 to 300 feet in height. It's a relief for your captain to see this landmark come into view. He lets everyone know that the company is right on course. Alright. Almost in California. From Steeple Rock, your team continues westward. Nothing happens on the screen, I don't think. About 90 miles west of Steeple Rock, you encounter the Humboldt River. Humboldt River is a real lifesaver. It's more like a mud ditch than a river, but it preserves life through 300 miles of arid, hostile wasteland. Tombstones of unfortunate travelers and carcasses lie everywhere along the trail. Although the Humboldt River supplied water to people and animals passing by, there are now other factors to challenge the company. Fatigue is taking its toll on people and animals who must walk day after day after day, breathing dust and pulverized dung. The continual complaining of company members is adding even more tension. There are also diggers, Indians of the Shoshone and Paiute tribes. The diggers steal and kill the precious oxen or mules possessed by the traveling teams. Gold seekers who have lost their animals are also resorting to stealing animals from other companies. It's been almost 4 months. Good lord. Taking as long as the Cape Horn route. Here the trail forks again, requiring another decision on the part of your captain. The choices are the Lassen Cutoff or the Truckee route. Captain Buddy decides to take the Truckee route, which is a big mistake. But we're almost in California. We're so close. So close. You, along with everyone else in the company, are now beginning to wonder why Captain Buddy selected the Truckee route. It takes you directly through a deadly desert, while the Lassen Cutoff avoids the desert completely. It's too late to go back, you just have to make the best of it and hope you survive. You are suffering from severe thirst and starvation. Life as you know it is nearly over, unless you do something quick. So if you have young oxen, this is where they die, and you can't get across the desert. It's this screen without the wagon, without the animals, without the wagon in the background. You're just walking and then you die. You see a barrel on the side of the wagon. Look, barrel. Oop. This is timed. You're on your way again. And somehow it got set to normal speed. I'm not sure how. It isn't far from here that the Donner Party encountered an early winter storm. Just the thought of it sends chills up and down your spine. For those who don't know, the Donner Party got stuck in a storm and had to resort to cannibalism to survive. There were 4 of them. Only 3 made it to California. You are now over the summit of the Sierra Nevada mountain range and are beginning your descent into Sacramento Valley. If you leave too late, that's where you die, because you get caught in a snowstorm. Just knowing you're getting close gives you a little more energy. Once you reach the Sacramento Valley, you get word from travelers who took Lassen's Cutoff that the terrain was formidable. Perhaps Captain Buddy did make a wise decision. You also learned that the U.S. Army, in an attempt to prevent another catastrophe that would dwarf that of the Donner Party, has sent rescue teams to help those men, women, and children still in the trails in the Sierras. Sutter's Fort. Ta-da! So we made it. That's the overland route. There's only one route left, and it's actually the easiest, or the fastest one. So, did I not save after I quit my job and got my money? God damn it. Let's go buy a ticket, I guess. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. Panama. Yes. Buy ticket. Damn it. Boop. once you actually get to California, it's far more puzzle shit than it is luck shit. So, give me my money. Boop, boop, boop. The Panama route is for rich people, as you can tell. I don't know exactly how much money $900 would be in current money, but you can safely assume that if I sold my house for $850, knowing how much a standard house in the US goes for now, which is 3 more zeros tacked onto the end of that, you could probably imagine how expensive this shit is. Yes, Panama. Yes. So we do have to buy one important... Oh, we have to quit our job. God damn it. Forgot about the job quitting. Oh, gotta be fucking responsible all the time, man. So responsible. So responsible. Now imagine you didn't know what the hell you were doing in this game and how hard this shit would be. Already been going to California. So you get 2 points for getting on the boat. So there's 2 points that we still need. And those 2 points are specific to the Panama route. We didn't actually need anything for the overland route. I bought the fruit because, you know, always buy fruit. But I guess it doesn't matter when you're actually able to go live off the land. No, what we actually need to buy here is buy mosquito net. God knows there's a bunch of tropical diseases in the Panama region. And they're mostly carried by mosquitoes. Skeeters, as we call them here in California. A Panamanian push. Excuse me, I would like to point out that you gave me the point sound and I did not want to get points. This is unacceptable to me. Oh, by the way, last Friday was Kylan's birthday, so you should all go to the most recent episode of Bloodborne and wish him a happy birthday. Please and thank you. Appreciate it. Alright. There's no scenes on the ship, thank God. The Panama route, since it is in most cases the most expensive route, generally attracts the slightly more sophisticated passenger, but the jungle has no respect for sophistication, only surprises. Some of these people haven't seen a hard day's work in their entire lives, save chopping that firewood for mother. But nonetheless, it has become the route taken by New York brokers, Philadelphia lawyers, Boston bankers, and big city doctors. The captain advises the passengers that it will take approximately 2 to 3 weeks to get to the Rio Chagres, which is actually pretty good. There's one main advantage of this route over the Cape Horn route. Normally it takes less time than the Cape Horn route, getting you to that California gold as soon as possible. That is, if everything goes right, you are taking a big chance on catching a ride on the Pacific side of the isthmus. You must also contend with the Panamanian jungle. As you travel further south, the humidity continues to rise. So yeah, this is going to be a longer episode than usual because we're going to go through this entire game in one sitting. Distance, you get your first glimpse of the Panamanian coastline. There's a wall of green rising abruptly from a beautiful blue sea. There are a few coral islands and reefs that your captain meticulously maneuvers around. The scene as you see it is as it has always been. It'd be just as difficult to walk across the isthmus today as it was for Balboa centuries ago. Near the mouth of the Rio Chagres are ancient Spanish, Scottish, and English forts now in ruins. Most famous of these is Fort San Lorenzo, hidden by the dense jungle, and many more that are now invisible. Other cities and fortresses which once flourished are now overgrown and hidden. No one knows where they are. Ships arriving from all over the world are not allowed to dock on the Caribbean side of the isthmus. Ships must anchor offshore, which results in the passengers having to pay exorbitant prices to native business people for a ride to shore. You will ride to shore and 40 miles up the Rio Chagres in small wooden boats. Offshore it is beautifully silent. Except for that music. Hey, it's Fort San Lorenzo, city of Chagres. Thickest jungle you have ever seen. Alright, here we go. We're gonna save. Since you have entered the humid tropics, whenever necessary, you have worn the mosquito net to keep those pests from biting you. If you don't, you die. Sorry, you get malaria or something. Malaria. Crooked River winds its way through a deep canyon with steep walls covered with thick vegetation. In the jungle, it is never silent. There is an underlying hum and rustle and the sound of water dripping. Birds are squawking, monkeys are chattering, things you can't see are crashing and grumbling. The wildlife is breathtaking. Monkeys are seen swinging in the trees, alligators are sunning on logs, jaguars stalk the shore, flamingos, pelicans, eagles, blue and white herons, and vultures dot the sky, not to mention all the other creatures that you can't see that are watching you. Insects are unbearable. They are not just a nuisance, they carry dreaded, deadly diseases. That's why you need the net. At times, it is necessary to get out of the river and get out of the boat and drag it through shallow portions of the river. You don't want to touch the jungle plants. Some of them have poisonous juice, some have 4-inch spikes, some have blades as long as sharpened swords. You sweat continuously. The temperature may be only 85 degrees Fahrenheit, but the air is saturated and perfectly still. All around you is the smell of hot, wet, rotten vegetation. Beginning to wonder why you ever left the comforts of Brooklyn. Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do. Oh no! The lead native on the shore yells something. Your guide interprets. The leader of the natives said, "Give us all your valuable possessions. If you do, we'll let you live." Crumba su mackerel? If we don't, they will kill us as dead as a mackerel. I don't think they're bluffing. Do you think we should give them our valuables? Yes, because they will totally kill you if you don't. And there's always the inventory dispensing phase. Your gold coin is deep in your pocket. As you empty your pockets, you daringly leave it there. The letter from your brother Jake is in your hip pocket along with the gold flake under the stamp. You leave that there. Family photos in your pockets, you keep that. Everything else you have with you is thrown onto the shore. Leader of the natives runs over to the loot lying on the shore. They are happy with the items we have given them. We are free to go. Yeah, if you don't do that, you die. So it's not really a choice. All right. Time to get ready to walk through the jungle. Why is this an advantage? Because it's only been about 3 weeks. And this route is so much shorter. Every other route takes like 4 months minimum. This one takes like 6 weeks. It's very, very time efficient. For a portion of the 20-mile walk to Panama City, you are traveling on a road built centuries ago by the Spaniards. In the early days of their conquest, this road was used to transport treasures across the isthmus. It was called Camino Real, meaning royal road. Traveling in the jungle has hardly any view at all. You can rarely see the sky, and can see only a few feet in any direction. A person unaccustomed to the ways of the jungle could find themselves lost only a few feet from the road. When not on the primitive Spanish road, you are walking on untouched jungle, treading on mud or wet, squashy leaf mold, crawling over fallen trees, cutting your way through thick vegetation. It is difficult to get off the road, even using the most common and efficient tool in the jungle, a machete. There's nothing in that jungle but snakes, alligators, tigers, pumas, jaguars, vampire bats, tarantulas, scorpions, and stinging centipedes. Alright. So this one is more about puzzle stuff. These guys are all going to leave me behind because they're dicks. Take this book. It may be helpful to you. It's a Bible. Let's save. Oh no, can't be. Drop the dreaded jungle ants. Oop. Road looks clear, so get down from here. Alright. There are 4 ways through this jungle, or through this screen. First way is the obvious way, which is through here. And dead. Alright, so let's try going on this path right here. It should be okay, right? And dead. Panama Jungle is bullshit. The correct path is actually up here. This is the safe path. However, this is also the wrong path. This will get you through the jungle, but you miss out on something. You need to actually go... See if we can get there from the other side. There we go. All the way to the back, which doesn't even look like a path. Ouch. Wonder what you just stubbed your toe on. You push back the foliage obscuring your view. What your eyes behold is difficult for your mind to believe. You rub your eyes in disbelief, thinking you must be seeing things, but what you see is real. There's an ancient gold disc with Spanish markings on it. It must have been lost during a treasure shipment or a bandit raid along this trail centuries ago. First, you take a good look around to see that no one is watching you. Then you cautiously pick up the gold disc, constantly on the lookout for creepy crawlers. So other things other gold items are basically just used as cash once you get to California. The disc is literally priceless. If you ever try to use it to buy something, you lose points. There we go. So made it through there. And hey, guess what? This looks entirely safe, right? And... dead. Yeah, that's right. There's fucking quicksand. No, there's no indication of where to fucking go. This is trial and error gameplay at its worst. Nope, there we go. I think I just walked into the same spot that I died in the first time. Nope. I think the correct way is to go up. Nope. Come on, man, really? Whew. Never seen that before. Oh, come on. This one screen can take up so much time. What? Is it just random? It's not random. Fun fact about this game gave me nightmares as a kid. Remember, I was like 5. Come on. God, I made it pretty far there. Fucking gator. Fuck you, gator. Hey, we made it. Hooray. That's it. That's all you have to do for the Panama Jungle. Panama City. Once a traveler makes it to Panama City, his worries are really just beginning. Population of Panama City increases every day due to the steady stream of fortune seekers coming across the isthmus. Panama City is becoming extremely overcrowded and unsanitary. It is an ideal place to contract a deadly jungle disease. It's difficult to find food or a place to sleep. Overcrowded and unsanitary conditions basically stem from a lack of ships on the west coast of Panama to take gold seekers to California. These ships that do leave for California are overloaded to the point of being unsafe. Gold seekers trapped in Panama City will do nearly anything to be on one of the fortunate souls on board when the next ship sails. Yeah, probably murder. Blame it on jungle fever. Tickets are scalped for 2 or 3 times the price paid for them. Was I fortunate enough to get on the boat? Fights break out over who will get to be on the ship and who will get left behind. Did I get to get on the boat? Get on the boat. Banana boat. Delays of 2 weeks are not unusual. Delays of 2 months are not uncommon. You're one of the lucky ones. You managed to get on a ship. It is incredibly overcrowded. Next scene. You don't see how the ship is going to survive a voyage of 3,500 miles from Panama to California. There are no words to describe how overcrowded the ship is. It's so heavy that you're amazed it is still afloat. Every square foot of deck space is occupied by a gold seeker or his baggage. Some passengers sleep in hammocks hung in the rigging. Others sleep on the deck or on the passengers next to them. Oop. Loud cheer goes up from the crowd on board as the ship enters into the beautiful bay. It makes a chill run up and down your spine. It's a sight you will not soon forget. South edge of the bay is lined with small buildings. There are a few boats and ships moored to the docks. That must be the settlement of Yerba Buena, soon to be called San Francisco. It looks like the ship you are riding on is one of the first to arrive. This brings a little glimmer into every eye on board, because it's been basically less than 2 months. Ship isn't moving fast enough. You just need that California gold. $100 out of 100. Right there in the middle of the deck. Looks like Sutter's forward stage is prepped and ready to roll. Get on stage. Sutter's fort. So every trail eventually gets to the same spot. Not that big a deal. But how you get there is like a third of the, or basically a third of the game. 2/3 of the game. Let me give you a few pointers. Take a good look around. Most folks who have gone looking for gold don't take nothing 8 years unless you got permission or you pay for it in gold. Seems like the only things of any use these days is a gold pan, a shovel, a lantern, and a trusty mule. Alright, so now that we've made it, oh, what the? Can't you see, man, that I'm busy as a one-armed paper hanger with an itch? If you excuse me, I'd best be getting back to my work. Hold on there, son. You ain't from the parts around, say, New York, would you be? Yeah. You wouldn't be from Brooklyn, would you? Yeah. Your last name ain't, by chance, Durant? Wilson? Yeah, that's it. And, your first name wouldn't be, Jared? That's it. And you got a brother named Tag Burnett. Jake. Well, I'll be. I can't believe it. Lean over here, young fella, and listen to me close. I can't be talking too loud about this kind of thing. I got a message for you from your brother. I ain't got no notion of his whereabouts. All I got's is a message. He wants you to know that in these parts he's known as, James, that's it. James Wilson Marshall. James left his trusty mule for you in the fort's main corral. He said it would help you find him. He also gave me this. Ain't got no idea what it's for, but he wanted me to give it to you. Cool. Thanks, blacksmith. Branding irons are a fairly common article around this area, but this looks like a rare brand indeed. Looks like a magnet holding a key. So the mule thing and the description of the branding iron saying that it looks like a magnet holding a key are both things added to this game to make it easier. We're looking for the shop. I think I went the wrong way. I probably did. Yep. Whoop. Let's slow it. Let's take about 20% off there, 10 pounds. There we go. Wah, 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 wah. Oh, really? Dang it. Okay, that gets us to the shop. Sign on one of the doors and a hitching post. Fine, I'll read it. Open, come on in. All right. Hi. I can tell by the way you talk you're new to these parts. What can I do for you? Can I buy a pan? There are a few pans left, but I'm not giving them away. You're gonna have to give me gold in some one form or another if you want to take anything out of this store. Give coin. Okay, I'll take that gold coin, and here's your gold pan. I wish you the best of luck. And then there's something else to do here. We kind of passed it when we were walking at super speeds there. Today I buried Pa in a nearby cemetery. Only you will understand. Thomas O'Flattery. Dr. Samuel P. Upton. Office upstairs. Oh. Jose Sanchez. Wilson Marshall? You mean Marshall Wilson? Died January 24th, 1848, mourned by sons James and Jared. A place in your heart is reserved for you always. So, if you look letter, holes that look like they have been cut intentionally. You must be a genius. You take the letter from your long-lost brother out of your pocket and hold it up to the tombstone. No, not there. Hold it right there. Take a note of a few clues left by James. A cannon with a big wheel. This is also added to this game. Psalm 23 is important. Through the holes in the letter, you see these characters, R2100OOM. Below the letter you read, reserved for you always. Room 21. Or, it's actually room 12. Gotta figure out what that means. But let's read Psalm Plasm 23. Oops. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. Green pastures is capitalized. That's probably the important bit there, isn't it? All right. So now we can't really do anything else until we have some gold. So let's go get some gold. In order to get gold, you have to go east, 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 east. Oh, so this is another guy. He's staked his claim here. If you try to look for gold here, you go right to the gallows. In fact, let's see what happens. Pan. You're panning on my claim. You'll hang for this. Doot, 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 doot. Got any last words? Nope. Crack. In the original game, there was also copy protection, and if you failed the copy protection, then it took you to the gallows. Pan, nothing. Got some gold. Nothing else here. Nope, another guy with a claim. Another guy with a claim. Yeah, and sometimes they can be very deceptive to see. So yeah, the game is called Gold Rush. The point is to get as much gold as you can. So there are 100 possible points from getting gold. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Oh shit. Nope. Go back up. Thank you. Set you back to fast. Let's go solve some more puzzle bullshit, shall we? Sutter's Fort, I think, is still there. We need to go to the shop first to buy a couple of things. Boop. Buy shovel. Give gold. Buy lantern. Give gold. Alright. And we still got $156 worth of gold. You can see why the gold rush was so incredibly destabilizing. Because, my God, you could spend a couple of minutes, couple of days, couple of hours, and have hundreds of dollars. In a time when $100 meant a lot of money. It also led to a big explosion of town growth, which also led to ghost towns. Alright, so this isn't going to make much sense here. Give gold. Jesus, buddy, take $129 worth of gold. Take mule. It willingly follows you. Mule is slow and lazy. If you had a trusty mule, it would mean the difference between poverty and riches. We don't really care about this mule. This mule is a throwaway mule. We do have to go back to the blacksmith and give him a nice big brand, though. And this can end badly because it's possible to go just far enough into the blacksmith shop that you lose the mule. See? Almost lost him. Cool. This slow, lazy, and awkward mule serves a special purpose. Alright. So you remember the blacksmith told us that Jake left us a mule in the fort. So we got to get that mule. Can't just walk out with somebody's mule, though. Hold it right there, stranger. I'll need to get a description of that mule you're bringing in here. Okay, it's a brown mule, a little scrawny, with a... I ain't never seen a brand like that, and looks like a magnet holding a key. Okay, take it on in. If you want to leave it for a spell, almost any stall will do. Well, I do want to leave it for a spell. I want to leave it for all the spells. Lazy old mule behind. Alright. Mr. Bell owns this mule. One of the many assets of the Copyright Ranch. Haha, sweet. Triple T Ranch is the proud owner of this mule. This trusty, high-spirited, and stubborn mule bears a special brand. Oops. Let's just make sure this is the right brand. Yep. One mule is as good as another, right? Let me take a look at that mule you got there. Well, it's brown and skinny. It's got that same strange brand on it. What's this? What are you trying to pull over on me here? Oops, my mistake. Sure looks like the mule we brought in here. Sweet, we got us a mule. So now, as everybody has been saying, we should probably head to Colima. Colima is a different game. Nothing. This is why panning is so much more interesting than shoveling. Panning is much faster. It's also one of those CR games that's really good about leaving a bunch of hints in places that you don't really expect. I'll show you what I mean when we get there, but... We're almost done with this game, by the way. This is not a very long game. And that's after I've gone through the middle part of the game 3 different times. But that's the interesting thing about CR adventure games is that they're never... If you know what you're doing, they're never long, but it's so hard to know what you're doing, and the puzzles are occasionally so obtuse that you really have to try quite hard to figure out what you're doing. The first time through the CR adventure game is epically fun. I'm actually really excited about Hero U, Rogue to Redemption. I haven't bought it yet. I'm not sure if I want to do that on the channel. If you think I should do that on the channel, let me know. Tyler and I might do it, or I might do it as a solo series, but we'll see. It takes forever to get to Coloma. I don't want to dig if I can't see if there's any claims here. And yes, there could be somebody behind that bush. And yes, they can call me out on claim jumping. So it's occasionally dangerous to search for gold. But we don't actually need any more gold. We've bought everything that we need gold for. Let's not dig here. Are they diverting the river? What could they be doing that for? A sawmill, of course. Gentlemen. So a sawmill is usually one of the things that you saw go up first in the boom towns, because everything was made out of wood. Done. Hey, look, this is the Hotel Green Pastures. Howdy, what can I do for you? Can I get a room? Room's full and there ain't no room in the hotel. The only way to get a room is to have one reserved for you. Do you have a room reserved? Yes. 20. Oh, that's right. I'm actually typing on the number key row here and it's just not letting me do it. Room 12? That's interesting. No one has asked for room 12 since we added the closet between room 11 and room 13. That reminds me. I got a message to give to the man staying in room 11. Would you deliver it for me? Sure. Great. Hang on a second. Here's the message. Thanks. Hey, one. So, by the way, I think room 11 was next to room 12. Yep, that guy's in on Jake's secret. Hey, look, it's room 12. Alright. This can get you caught very easily. Sounds like someone's coming to the door. Yeah, what do you want? Man, somewhat surprised that you're bringing him a message, takes it and begins to read it. Man's face drops in some kind of emotion. He looks up from the message and says, I gotta go. Well, I'll just climb into your room. Brick fireplace with a decorative cannon on the mantel. Get covered with soot, but you climbed in the fireplace. And then turn the wheel again to lower it. We've made it to the secret room 12. Jake set all of this up over years. You're now in the elusive room 12. You see a wall has been built where the door was, creating a small closet. There's a table on the floor, a fireplace, and a birdcage. Take string. Table. Handwritten in slightly yellowed note, a magnet, and that's about it. I'll take the magnet. Fine. Dear Jared, if you're looking for gold, then find me. Make sure no one follows you. Your brother Jake, alias James Wilson Marshall. Let's get some air in here, shall we? Oh yeah, that's so you can't actually open the window from the outside. Boodly. And then you wait. Not a lot, but you wait a little bit. Bird is a small capsule attached to its leg, and now you have to think back over a long period of time. Bring a family photo so that I will know it's you. Jake set up this room. The only reason a bird would be here would be that Jake sent it. Fly away, birdie, fly away. Oh yeah, and if you take too long, the guy in room 11 comes back and finds you with the fireplace and all that stuff. But we don't have to worry about that, do we? Because we're badasses. So am I still waiting for this bird to get the fuck back? Can't find a good reason. Oh. So yeah, the guy in room 11 just came back. There's basically, because you have to wait for the pigeon, no effective way to get in through the fireplace and then get out through the fireplace. You're going to get caught every time. Come on. Come on, birdie. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Take aerogram. Read aerogram. As trusty as my mule may be, just follow him and he'll lead you to me. So that's also changed from the original version. The original version was just follow my stubborn friend, essentially. Oop. Ain't never heard of a wind boot. And again, this is something that can get you killed very easily. Yay, made it. So yeah, you can get to room 12 from the outside if you can't figure out the message. And you just smash the window and climb in. But again, doesn't give you as many points, does it? Alright, let's grab our mule. Don't do that. Don't do me like that. So that's Coloma, and that's all that we need to do there. Try that just a smidgen further out of 10. You're right on his tail. And I mean, granted, Jake had a long time to set all this stuff up, but this is like the most ingenious way to hide yourself. I think it's only a couple more screens. I think it's 27 and 7. There we go. Welcome to Jake's house. This is the inside of your brother's cabin. It's tidy but dusty. You must not spend much time here. His table on the floor in the corner. Only thing of interest on the table is a book of matches. There we go. So there's no evidence that Jake has been out here doing anything. But he's also not here. But he said that he's found gold. And if he found gold, then of course it's going to be underground if it's not in the river. So how do you get underground? Do I really have to do this? Yes. Thanks a lot. There's two ways to get through the mine. One is by using the lantern. The other is by following on feel. It's ridiculous. This door is immensely huge and the sturdiest door you've ever seen in your entire life. There's an interesting hole in the door as shown here. The door is a heavy-duty double lock system to keep out unwanted intruders. You can barely see under the door. So, again, this is a game that gives you a bunch of clues about what you need to do. Sure looks like a magnet holding a key, doesn't it? You're full of good ideas. You put the magnet with string attached through the hole in the floor. Ever so slowly and carefully, you lower the magnet down the far side of the door. Time passes slowly. It seems like an eternity, and then, ding! Even more carefully than you lowered the magnet, you raise it again. Beads of sweat break out on your forehead, and the palms of your hands are sweating. You hope not to lose whatever it is that's attached itself to the magnet. Steel key. Alright, and now we're in the endgame. I mean, we've been in the endgame since we got to California, but that's besides the point. It is very easy to die here. All you have to do is slip and fall. But, I mean, good Lord, Jake, you've been busy, haven't you? There's one thing that you need to get here. And it's this. So, remember when I said that you get basically 50 points for finding gold in the river or by digging? You get another potential 50 points by digging here and getting gold, and it's bullshit. Look, gold, don't care. Alright, let's save the game. Jake has been busy. So yeah, anytime you see that yellow, you can just say take gold and it gives you some points. There's not enough gold just hanging around for you to grab, though. You got to use the pick and find more. Just a pain in my ass. Climb down this ladder. And then climb down this ladder. Yeah. Through the still darkness, you hear the faint sound of someone picking. Oh, God. Thought I felt my death there. Alright. Try it without lighting the lantern sometime. Your eyes, unaccustomed to the bright light of the lanterns, take a moment to adjust. Although you are still squinting, you see a man across the mineshaft. You have followed a trail of clues left by your brother, and they have led you right here. It must be him. You move closer to get a better look. It's been 11 years, but there's no doubt about it. That is your brother. Jake! You shout across the mineshaft. You wait a moment and shout again. Jake! I mean, James! Is that you? Man across the mineshaft stops picking and turns around. He looks you over from head to toe. It's me, your brother Jared, you shout. Jared? Is it really you? It's me, Jared Wilson. I can't believe it. It's really you. I just can't believe it. Aww. You get a good look at you, Jared. Still can't believe it's really you. You are looking good, Jared. Well, I'm okay. I'm looking okay, considering everything I've been through to get here. But I'm wondering about you and James. Or about you, James. What have you been doing? How are you doing, and what have you been doing for the last 11 years? It's a long story. I'll tell you all about it sometimes. But right now, you and I have work to do. Closing in on the finest and purest vein of gold in all of California. The two of us are going to find it. Well, then let's get to work, James. Take some of this of your gold. You struck gold. I said gold, my man. More gold. We're just going to turn that off. Take gold. Pick. Hey, James, look at this. Huh, that looks strange. I wonder what's going on here. Keep on going, Jared. It's getting bigger, James. Look. I see it, brother. Keep on going. Oh, my, look at that. Keep swinging that prick, Jared. It almost looks big enough to get through. Just turn that off. My heart is pounding, James. What do you think is behind it? I don't know, Jared, but my knees are getting weak. Hole is big enough. Go in hole. Great anticipation, you crawl through the hole into the underground tavern. For a moment, you and James stand in awe of what you have found. The silence is broken only by echoes of the splashing stream winding through the cavern. The light of the lantern reflects a golden glimmer all around you. This must be a dream. Yep. This is called the Mother Lode. 'Cause we found it. What we found here isn't fool's gold. This is gold! Pure gold! Your courage, commitment, and perseverance have made your dream come true. Infinitely beyond your highest hopes or aspirations. Thank you for playing Gold Rush! And that's the game. That's it. If you go to your inventory, you have an error instead of the amount of money that you have. But yeah, it's that was Gold Rush. The ending is always the same. It doesn't matter which route you choose. There's always the mother lode there. It's not like choosing a longer route takes longer or something like that. But yeah, that was it. So I hope you enjoyed that one. This is a blast from the past for me, and I figured what with finishing up Dark Forces, I might as well finish this one up or do this one while I had the chance. It took about 2 hours, so that's not too terrible. But yeah, next time on Character Select, I will play something else, probably for a shorter period of time. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure to click that like button down below if you liked it. If you have any gold you'd like to share, feel free, but probably with people that need it more than I do. And I will see you next time. Hope you strike it rich.